Welcome, my dear students of grade first secondary. Today we'll continue answering questions model exam 3 in المعاصر book in biology first term. Let's start reading question number 1. If you know that the general formula of carbohydrates CH2O by N, and the chemical formula of glucose is C6H12O6. So N refers to, this N refers to, number 1, the number of the water molecules that are found in sugar. B, the number of the atoms of the internal elements that enter the structure of sugar. Number C, the number of chemical bonds among the atoms of elements. Number D, the number of OH group, hydroxyl group between carbon atoms. What do you think, Neema? What do you think here? We have glucose here. We have 6 atoms of carbon, 12 atoms of hydrogen, 6 atoms of oxygen. N here equals 6. Yes?
Yes.
So, which answer is likely to be the best?
I think it's B.
B, the number of atoms, very good. The number of atoms in the internal elements, yeah, because we have 6 carbon and 6 oxygen, and here H, it has 2 multiply 6, it will be the number of atoms is correct. So this is a correct answer. Thank you, Neema. Now let's move to another question. How are you, Omar? Are you good? Can you help me to answer this question? Okay. Are you ready, Omar?
Ready.
The electron microscope is characterized by forming more accurate image than that of the light microscope, of course. Which of the following consider the application for this characteristic? The accurate means better and more closer, and it can magnify some thing that cannot be magnified by the light microscope. So you are searching for something the light microscope cannot make a clear image for it. So is it obtaining a bigger image for the cell? The ability to see the crystal mitochondria, the ability to see the cell wall of the plant cell, the ability to see nucleus in amoeba cell. Which one of them the light microscope cannot see very well?
B.
Of course, crystal of mitochondria. The light microscope cannot see the crystal of mitochondria very well because it is very accurate and very minute. It is very tiny to be watched by the light microscope. But we can see the cell bigger by the light microscope. We can see the cell wall and we can see the amoeba nucleus. All of this can be seen clearly by the light microscope. Only the crystal inside the mitochondria is very, very tiny and very small, cannot be seen clearly by the light microscope. Thank you, Omar. Let's move to another question. Are you ready, Nama? In an experiment to study the effect of temperature on the activity of an enzyme in the body, the student added this enzyme on the substrate, providing the suitable conditions for its action. يبقى الانزيم هيشتغل وبعدين هو study is the effect of temperature. The effect of temperature. We know, remember, there is a an optimal temperature in which the enzyme is perfect in working. And after the temperature rises up over the optimal temperature, the shape of the enzyme is destroyed and start to decrease in activity until it stops completely. You know this? Right. Then
Yes.
he recorded the result shown in the opposite graph. He doesn't complete the graph. Of course, he wants me to complete the graph. He reaches here, but he doesn't complete the graph. Maybe 30 is the maximum, the optimal temperature. What happened after 30? We'll see now. The enzyme decreases. The activity of the enzyme decreases, of course. بعد كده بيقول لي which graph may be obtained if the solid rises the temperature into 60 suddenly. 60 suddenly. Is it like this or like this?
It's like B.
Or like this?
No.
It is like the first one or the second one?
First
One
one.
is wrong. The one which is correct, this one. Yes? It is B is correct. B is correct. Yeah, Nama, you are excellent. Thank you, Nama. B is correct because the activity of the enzyme decreases until finally it stops, completely stops. Okay? Here we don't have 60. As you see, we don't have temperature 60. As you see, 30, after 30, maybe 35 or 40. There is no 60, okay? But this one is correct because we have a 60. Okay, we reach 60. Time. Let's go to another question. Let's go to another question. Are you ready, Omar? Let's help me answering this question. A researcher removed the components of an animal cell during carrying out one of his experiments. This leads to the stopping all the vital processes in the cell after several hours. يعني it is very important organelle in the cell. What do you expect this organelle is to be? Is it nucleus or endoplasmic reticulum or lysosomes or Golgi apparatus? What do you think? Which organelle is the most important in the cell? If you remove it, the cell loses all vital activities and all vital processes. Which one do you think, Omar? Can you hear me, Omar? طيب Zainab. Omar not ready. Which organelle, Zainab? Sorry, Naama. Which organelle is most likely to be the most important organelle in the cell?
Maybe let's go B.
Endoplasmic reticulum. Which organelle is the most important in the cell? If it removes, all the vital activities and all vital processes stop in the cell. Which organelle control all vital activities?
A.
Very good now. It is a nucleus. The nucleus is the most important organelle of the cell. because it controls all vital processes in the cell. Okay? Thank you, Nema. Let's go to another question. The ability of the thyroid gland to build protein means that it cell contain what in abundance? Amino acids and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Remember, building proteins, it is a function of ribosomes. You remember? Building protein is one function of the ribosomes. And the ribosomes are found on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay? So let's go to search which answer is better. Amino acids and rough endoplasmic reticulum, it is good answer, but we have to read other A answers. Fatty acids and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Here, fatty acids, we don't need so much. We need to build protein, not fats. Nucleotides and ribosomes. Why we need nucleotides here? We don't need nucleotides. Amino acid and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So which choice is likely to be the best one? Omar, can you hear me? Can you answer this question? Okay, طيب. Nema, what about you? Which choice you prefer? We need to make proteins. We need ribosomes. And ribosomes are found on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So we have rough endoplasmic reticulum.
Maybe letter A.
Which of them is better? Amino acids and the rough endoplasmic reticulum or fatty acids? Which help in building protein? Amino acids or fatty acids?
Maybe amino acids.
Amino acids, of course, very good. Amino acids, because the amino acids are the building units of proteins. The amino acids are the building units of proteins. So it is likely to be the best answer. Let's go to another question. Let's go to another question. We have here the two following figures represent the two tests carried out on solution X. There is solution X here. We have here solution X. Okay. This one also is solution X. Two experiments or two figures represent the test carried on solution X with a Benedict reagent. Okay. What are the food elements that are found in this solution? In test 1 and in test 2. The change in the color in Benedict into violet, what does it mean? And the change into orange, what does it mean? In which the Benedict solution used to test for what food? What type of food? We use Benedict to test what type of food? You remember? Benedict is used to test for monosaccharides. Okay? So when it gave a positive result, its color changed into orange. When you have monosaccharide in the solution, the color of the Benedict changes into orange. The violet color of the Benedict changes into orange. And if you don't have sugar, it's still violet as it is. Its color doesn't change. So we are searching for what? In the first case only, there is a change into orange. This is a positive result. In this case, the color changes into orange. So in this case only, there is a monosaccharide. Monosaccharide means glucose, fructose, galactose, one of these monosaccharides. So in which case, A or B or C or D, we have monosaccharide in the test 1. We have protein and starch, glucose and protein, starch and fats, starch and glucose. We have to start with glucose because we said the color changes into orange in the presence of glucose. So which one is correct? Who can? Basil, can you answer this question? Try to answer. We have a positive result in case in test number 1. Orange, the color change into orange. This means that there is here a monosaccharide. Yes? So in the beginning, we have to say there is a monosaccharide in the first test. There is a monosaccharide in solution X. Okay? طيب. Or glucose or starch. Where is the monosaccharide?
معلش هو انا لازم ابدا بجلوكوز يعني؟
monosaccharide لازم تبدا بمونوساكرايد. ما عنديش هنا غير جلوكوز.
جلوكوز
يبقى بالتالي انا بدور على التست الاول في جلوكوز في مونوساكرايد. لو حاجه ثانيه غير الجلوكوز زي جلاكتوز مثلا او ريبوز او فراكتوز كان موجود كنت هختاره مفيش مشكله. لكن هو مش بيديني مونوساكرايد في البدايه غير في الحاله دي فقط، في بي فقط. يبقى الاختيار بتاعي هيكون ايه؟
هتبقى بي يعني.
احسن. ليه؟ لان انا بدور على اللي اداني بوزيتيف ريزلت. مين اللي اداني بوزيتيف ريزلت؟ مونوساكرايد. طيب مين في دول عنده مونوساكرايد في التست الاول؟ مفيش هنا بروتين. ده هنا في بروتين وهنا في ستارش. هنا في جلوكوز وده يعتبر مونوساكرايد وهنا في ستارش. يبقى لا، الوحيده اللي فيها في الاول مونوساكرايد هي دي. وبالتالي it is likely to be the correct answer. Okay?
ماشي.
طيب let's move to another question. يلا يا مين معايا؟ عمر. Are you ready عمر حسين؟
Yes.
Let's try to answer this question. Which of the following graphs expresses the relation between the number of green plastids and the efficiency of the plant to do photosynthesis process? طبعا احنا عارفين الفانكشن اوف جرين بلاستيدز اللي فيها كلوروبلاست، اللي هي كلوروبلاست فيها كلوروفيل بتعمل absorbing للsun rays او sunlight to make a photosynthesis process. So as the number of green plastids increase, okay, this means that the amount of photosynthesis increase. The process of photosynthesis will increase. So there is a direct relation between the number of green plastids and the amount of photosynthesis. Direct relationship. Which graph here you have a direct relationship? This one, is it a direct relationship, or this one, or this one, or this one? Which one is directly proportional? What do you think?
D.
Yes, of course.
D.
Of course, my son. Of course, Omar. D, only one we have directly proportional. As the number of green plastids increase, the amount of photosynthesis increase. But here it is inversely proportional. And here there is no proportion at all. And here there is a directly proportional, then become inverse. This is not correct. The only correct answer is D. It's likely to be the correct answer. This question. Okay. Okay?
Okay.
Because there is a direct relation between the number of green blood cells and the amount of photosynthesis process. Let's move to another question. Omar Ashraf, are you ready? There is a problem in your mic. Okay, Mazen. You will answer this with me, okay? Here, Mazen, are you ready? The opposite graph illustrates the relation between the activity of a certain enzyme and its concentration in the medium.
ماشي.
Okay, concentration of the enzyme in the medium. Enzyme activity and the enzyme concentration. Okay. Okay, when the concentration of the substrate increases, when the concentration of the substrate increases, okay,
ماشي.
it is expected to that the highest activity of this enzyme at what concentration? 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. What do you think?
0.2
Why?
علشان
This is
هو
the
ده
maximum point.
ايوه ده يعني
And
ده
after
الماكسيمم
that,
بوينت
the
بعد كده
activity
فضل
stop. Yeah, excellent, excellent. This is a good conclusion. I agree with you. I agree with you. The maximum activity here in 0.2, and after that, the activity is still as it is. The enzyme concentration is still as it is. Okay. Thank you, Maz. Thank you, Maz.
No.
Let's go to. Do you have another answer?
No.
Anybody has not agree? Okay, I am agree with Maz. طيب, let's go to Nema. Are you ready, Nema? We have here another question. What do organelle X, Y, and Z contain? Okay, X, Y, and Z. Can you figure what X and Y and Z? I see here X, here we have the nucleus. Can you see it? Is it clear?
Yes.
And Y, what does it represent? Cytoplasm. And Z, what does it represent? Vacuole. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go to try to say again. X represent what?
Nucleus.
Nucleus. Okay, it may have
DNA and RNA.
DNA and the RNA, of course. And Y, this may be vacuole, sub-vacuole, it may, or vacuole, or maybe the cytoplasm, it may contain starch. Yes?
Yes.
And Z contain mineral ions. Maybe it has some water and mineral salts in this vacuole. It is a vacuole. So what's the answer may be likely to be the best one?
D.
B or D?
D.
D, of course. Because we have here, we have RNA and DNA. Of course, RNA and DNA are found in the nucleus. So we can see X is a nucleus, okay? So it is likely to be the best answer. Are you agree? Are you agree with Nema, ya shabab? Anybody has another answer? Okay, let's move to another question. We have here which of the following choices links the cell with their function in correct form. We have here storage, transport, and support transport of oxygen. Okay, we have red blood cells, parenchyma cells, xylem cells, parenchyma cells. Of course, here, I think storage, it is parenchyma cells. So we are choosing between B and what? B and D. Yes? We are choosing between B and D, okay? Because storage is not in blood cells and not in the xylem cells. After that, transport and support, we have xylem and sclerenchyma. Both are correct. Which of them transport and support? It is xylem. Sclerenchyma support only, doesn't transport. So finally, transport oxygen, red blood cells, red blood cells. So we have to differentiate between only B and D from this point, transport and support. Xylem or sclerenchyma? I think xylem, because the xylem transport tissue and support tissue. Yes? So it is likely to be, the correct answer is what? B. Okay? We choose B because here the function of xylem, the xylem function is transport and support. So it is likely to be like this. And the storage, parenchyma for storage, and the transport oxygen, red blood cells also transport oxygen. So it is likely to be, the correct answer is A. Correct answer is B. Okay, are you agree with me? Okay, let's go to another question. Mazen, are you ready, Mazen?
ماشي.
Let's read, give reason.
Give reason for the number of white blood cells increases when the human infects with influenza virus.
What do you think? White blood cells. What inside the white blood cells?
White blood cells.
You know lysosomes?
Oh.
What do lysosomes contain?
هي يعني
Contain some digestive enzymes which can kill the microbes, can destroy the pathogens. You know? So they can engulf or destroy the pathogen, which is a virus. In this case, this is a virus. So we need more white blood cells to defend our body. It is a way of defense. It is a part of the immune system. It is a part of immune system because we have a white blood cells have the lysosomes, and lysosomes have their function is to defend the body by secreting some digestive enzymes to kill the microbes or to destroy the microbes or the pathogens like the bacteria or the virus. Okay, so you know, if somebody is sick, the first test made by the doctors, he ask him to make a test for blood, count of blood. Why they make count of blood?
يشوف الوايت blood cells.
If the number of white blood cells is very large, they can conclude, the doctors can conclude there is a pathogen or there is a virus or there is a bacteria in your body. Okay, so this is an indicator. The big number of white blood cells in the blood, this is an important indicator that there is a pathogen enter the body. This is a way for knowing is there a pathogen or a virus or a bacteria enter the body or not. So this is the importance of the blood test, the blood count, the blood count. Okay.
Yes.
Let's go to Neema. Are you ready, Neema? What is the structure that separate between the living cells content and their surrounding environment? What is the structure separate between the living cell content and surrounding environment? Do you know what surrounds the cell? Any cell, what inside the cell? The cytoplasm. What surrounds the cell? A plant cell and the animal cell. This is found in plant and animal cell, in both. Is it cell wall or plasma membrane?
Cell wall and cell.
Plasma membrane, of course. The answer is the plasma membrane. This one, the plasma membrane, which is found between in the plant cell and the animal cell. Both of them has plasma membrane. Okay, plasma membrane surround or separate the cell from the surrounding environment. Plasma membrane in the animal cell and also in the plant cell. But in the plant cell, there is another wall, which is a cell wall, which separate it more, help in separating it more. The cell wall is more way of separation. But the plasma membrane here, the answer here is best. The best answer is plasma membrane, okay? Because it found in both living cells, animal cell and the plant cell. So here he doesn't tell you is it a plant cell or animal cell. He say in living cell. So the best answer is plasma membrane. Okay. So let's move to another question. Are you ready, Omar Hussein? Omar Hussein, are you ready? عمر أشرف طيب. Any العمرين، واحد من العمرين. What is the number of carboxyl group that are resulted from binding of 15 amino acids in polypeptide chain? Carboxyl group resulted from binding 15 amino acids. How many carboxyl group resulted from binding 15 amino acids? This is a tricky question. Anybody knows? This is a tricky question.
أنا مش فاهم السؤال يعني. أنا مش فاهم السؤال يعني بس.
How many carboxyl group? There is any carboxyl group resulted from binding amino acids or water? Binding amino acids. We make water molecule, yes? Not carboxyl group. So the answer will be what?
Zero.
Zero. This is a tricky question. Because the resulted from binding amino acids together is water, not carboxyl group. So the answer here will be zero. Okay? This is a tricky question. No carboxyl group formed. Okay?
معلش يعني هو مش صح. أنا لما الأمينو أسيد بيبقى فيه نيتروجين الامينو اسيد.
تعال نروح كده مع بعض نرجع للامينو اسيد. تعال نرجع كده نشوف فين معانا الامينو اسيد. هنرجع شويه كتير مثلا 50 كده. ادي ايه امينو اسيد زي نشوف كده مع بعض اللي بيتكون لما نعمل امينو اسيد مع امينو اسيد بنعمل بالتايد بوند. تعالى نفتكر مع بعض. ادي ايه امينو اسيد مع امينو اسيد. تعالى نفتكر مع بعض ايه اللي بيحصل. اللي بيطلع هنا ووتر مولكيول، صح كده؟ هل بيطلع كاربوكسيل جروب ولا ووتر مولكيول؟
بس هو مش صح. السي او ده الكاربوكسيل جروب.
لا سي او بس. COOH الكربوكسيل جروب COOH. الكربوكسيل جروب اسمها كده COOH، دي الكربوكسيل جروب تبقى كابيتال COOH، دي الكربوكسيل جروب. هل بيطلع لي ووتر ولا كربوكسيل جروب؟
بس معلش، هو انا مش صح لما بعمل امينو اسيد مع
تمام.
امينو اسيد تاني بيبقى في الاخر خالص كربوكسيل جروب عادي؟
فري كربوكسيل جروب دي موجوده اصلا، دي كانت موجوده اصلا، دي كانت موجوده اهي. بص، دي كانت موجوده اصلا، مش resulted from the combination. دي كانت موجوده جزء من الايه؟ من الامينو اسيد اصلا، دي موجوده. بيقول لك resulted، جت من الكومباينيشن اللي حصل. الكومباينيشن اللي بيحصل بينتج عنه فورميشن اوف ووتر مولكيول، صح كده؟
ماشي.
لا، مش بيتكون كربوكسيل ابدا، صح كده؟
يعني الكربوكسيل ده حاجه في الامينو اسيد،
جزء اساسي في الامينو اسيد، مكون اساسي اللي هو اسيدك جروب اسمها كربوكسيل جروب، تمام؟ اللي هي COOH. وبالتالي انا مش بكون كربوكسيل جروب، ده انا بكون ووتر. فبالتالي ده يعتبر تريكي كويشن، يحاول يخدعني، يقول لي هاو ميني كربوكسيل، هو بقول له زيرو، لان اللي بيكون ووتر مش كربوكسيل، صح كده؟
صح. ماشي
تمام. طيب يلا نرجع كده لموضوعنا. احنا فين؟ احنا فين؟ 19 exam 3. طيب نروح للسؤال اللي بعد كده. بيقول لي ايه؟ بيقول لي each of the following of nucleus and mitochondria is surrounded by a double membrane, but each one has its nature that help in performing a vital function of the cell. Explain. يبقى هو عايز نعمل كومبير بين ايه وايه؟ النيوكليوس والايه؟ والميتوكوندريا. مين يقول؟ تقدري تقولي يا نعمه؟ compare between nucleus and mitochondria. لو حبينا نختصر نقول nucleus is a control the cell vital activities. All processes and all vital activities in the cell is controlled by the nucleus. And the nucleus also controls the cell division because it contains the hereditary substance, the chromosomes. تمام؟ طيب الميتوكوندريا control what? Responsible for what? Mitochondria responsible for production of energy in the cell. Mitochondria responsible for production of energy by a oxidation of glucose. It is the center of oxidation of glucose and releasing energy. Releasing energy in the form of ATP molecules by burning glucose. So he asked you to mention the importance of nucleus and the function of the nucleus and the function of the mitochondria. Is it okay? Is it okay? طيب. We have only 1 minute. The last question, because we have only 1 minute. Followed by arrows only the routes of insulin protein since its production till its arriving to a target cell. Insulin protein. What is the route? What is the way from the production and until it go to the target cell? Where does the insulin protein is formed? Insulin is a hormone, you know, it is a hormone. And it is also a protein. It is also a protein. So the insulin or the hormone is formed where? Inside what?
معلش مستر، هو يعني ايه follow by arrows؟
يعني انت هتكتب ايه المكان اللي بيتكون فيه البروتين دوت، وبعدين يروح فين وبعدين يروح فين. ركز معايا. ايه المكان الاول اللي هيتكون فيه الانسولين في السيل؟ ايه الحاجه اللي بتعمل البروتين؟ synthesis of protein. center of
الريبوزومز.
protein synthesis. ايوه